Right, here's the question then. So people will know the other side of that deal upset. They know that, like, there was the whole thing where supposedly Reckless told them, like, yeah, I am staying. And then, like, last minute, he was like, actually, I'm leaving. And then they were like, the fuck? We did the whole off-season based on that. And, like, supposedly that's the reason why Sam Matthews was, like, really mad, because he, like, got the rug pulled on him. Does this mean that you already knew you were joining Fnatic, like, right at the end of the off-season or something?
No, but I found out very early.
Like, had you heard the rumor he might go to G2, for example?
No, I knew that Perks was gonna leave his team, or that he was, I don't know, not leave his team, that the situation that happened occurred that he was not in the team anymore. I don't know what exactly how to put it, but I knew that there was gonna be a spot open on one of the two teams, Fnatic or G2, because either Reckless will go to G2 or...
Right.
And if G2 would, I did talk with them at some point as well, when I was allowed to, obviously. And there was some indication that it was an opportunity for me, but it changed, of course, once the Reckless thing was like rumored that it could happen. Otherwise, maybe somebody like Pacy could have went to G2, because my market value obviously was a little bit less. But I don't exactly remember all the details of this offseason, because it was a pretty tough offseason for me, and I tend to forget things when things were really stressful. But all I can say is I knew that there was going to be a spot open on G2 or Fnatic, and I think I was that guy to take that spot, because I deserved it, I think, through the body of work that I put, and because I always was like showing that I really put in so much effort to be a great player.
Sure. If people don't remember, right, usually, if you haven't noticed, even though everyone thinks I'm like mega egotistical and arrogant, blah, 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 maybe I am in some ways, but one area I'm not in is I never actually assume, by the way, that other people have seen all my content. I put out loads of stuff. Sometimes maybe it's just not their shit. Maybe they don't follow YouTube or read articles. But I know in your particular case, you did read the article I wrote where it was a column about you joining Fnatic, right? And if people don't know, I purposely, essentially the whole point of that was, it was almost like what I would say to you if I was like trying to coach you to be the best player in that team, where I tried to frame it that the reason why it should be like a massive opportunity is exactly because people forget this now because you've got a super team, but that was actually when it looked like Fnatic was going on the downward slope. Like they weren't getting all the talents they wanted. Like even some of the people they had were like questionable. Like, will Selfmade be there in a while? Who the fuck knows? Bwipo, I heard for many seasons it had like disputes behind the scenes of maybe he gets kicked or he leaves, or I've even heard the stories been past years that Hylissang would get booted. So it sounded to me at the time like even though you could join that team and go, well, you can't compare me to Reckless because he had a better team. It's like, no, eventually, like once you get in a good enough team, once you're in a top org and you have some good players, like I was trying to frame it that like it should actually be even more inspiring, because the premise goes, it's like what you said about the difference between being the worst player on a team that wins everything and the best player on a team that's always second. I'm different. I would actually rather be the best player on the second team, but not in the sense that I don't want to win. It's in the sense that like if I'm an individual player, the first and foremost thing I can do is try and be a really great individual player. Beyond that, if my team's good enough, if things work out, yeah, maybe we can win. But I think you want to be a Hall of Fame player first, and then you want to be in teams that win as well. Like that, you should. No one really wants to be carried to titles. So when you joined this Fnatic team, what was your mindset? Did you actually think like this team can win? It's my chance finally.
Just to clarify, I feel the same way. I feel the same way about what you say. That I would rather be the best on the second place team than the worst on but maybe I wouldn't be the best on a sixth place team or something. But
there's a good way to say it. Yes, exactly.
But I still would want that too, to be honest, because
yes.
What I was saying is that I maybe starting to feel like this is more of a, like not as serious comment, because I just lost again to someone who, I mean, maybe I could bravely say that I don't think he is like the best AD carry in Europe, but he won the split again, and people are obviously going to tell me that he won and that he 3-0'd, and going to make narratives about this 3-0 as well, and how we got stomped and stuff. I mean, it's just part of the fun of the competition, I think. But your question was about joining Fnatic?
Yeah, like when you were in this team, did you have a similar mindset? Like, look, the problem is this, basically. On paper, you've just taken Reckless's spot, so it's like, wow, it should be your turn to win. But I have to say, if I looked at that roster, I would have expected the G2 team to dominate the fucking year, not Fnatic. I would expect, like, maybe Rogue or Mad Lions to be next. Like, I actually thought Fnatic was going to be, like, a middling team, but I was trying to make it, like, if you win now, though, you'll get the credit, because it'll have to be that did it, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Reckless won in the years where
That's true. Yeah.
versus G2 he actually lost like 4 splits in a row.
Yeah.
But they were second and he was playing good for sure. But yeah, I thought I was going to join either G2 or Fnatic, and I would have been stoked about either one, and I would have just tried everything to make the team work, that I can win the split. And I felt the vibe kind of that people would think if I would join a team like G2 that I would want it to be about me. But honestly, if I would have kept in my team, at that time I would have made him breakfast and would have like tried to support him as much as possible and still like do really well myself. But I would have not like demanded that we play like this. If this is the meta and I see what my team needs, then I will try to fill whatever my team needs. But I would have made sure that this G2 team, also because I felt like I had a chance in the past, and now it could have maybe happened like a few years later, that I would have made it work in a way that everyone could have excelled again a little bit more than how the team seemed in the end. Because people shit talking like Mickey and saying like, he played so bad now and stuff like this. It's just, dude, if I would get to play with Mickey, I mean, I'm playing with Hylissang, and I think people can see that Hylissang is like pretty good when he's playing. I mean, he was also considered really good before, but now I feel like it's also a different step.
Sure, yeah.
And Mickey would have, me and Mickey would have been like an absolutely amazing pairing the same way. I think me and Hilly are an amazing pairing, because he's actually super similar to Hilly. I think Hilly's a little bit more focused on some of the Rakan and Pyke than Mickey, because I think Mickey actually also likes to play like Lulu a lot more and these range champs and Lux, whereas Hilly's more favored to the other side and play like I mean, they have a shared champion pool, but Mickey's a little bit more to that side, and I think that also would be really interesting to play with someone like that. But both of them are absolutely the greatest supports in Europe ever, like historically. Maybe other people can join the conversation at some point, like Kaizans and maybe Yellowstar or something, but Mickey would have been, I would have loved to play with Mickey the same way I love to play with Silly, for sure.
Sure.
And if I would play with him, I don't think the conversation would be like it was in that year, definitely.